Hey, how's it going there, YouTube? This obviously is going to be the final video of the season, Super Bowl. So happy my Hawks made it. Denver made it too. Who would have thought? Two cities that legalize marijuana be in the Super Bowl. Who would have thunk it? Anyways, I want to give props to the San Francisco 49ers. It was no easy task what you did. Getting to three straight conference championship games. Nobody's ever done that before. Tough task to do, even for anybody, and got to give you props where it's deserved. But you just need to stop talking because we're in the Super Bowl. Kaepernick needs to stop talking. Crabtree needs to stop talking. It's obviously they mad, bro. So, anyways, congratulations to the 49ers for the three straight conference games. You lost two of them anyway. So, anyways, on to the Super Bowl. Should be a well thought out game. Temperature seemed looking to be about normal. No snow, freezing temperatures like that. At least at the beginning of the game. And anyways, start out. It's like Manning. A few things throw out. Manning's average distance per throw. Probably some of you didn't know this. About 7.8 yards. 71% are no more than 10 yards down the field. So, that neck surgery he had has obviously, affected his arm strength. He's 28th in the NFL for average throwing distance. 46% of all the yards came after the catch. So, obviously your yards after catch team. The Hawks, on the other hand, we limit our opponents to around 1,250 yards after the catch all season. That's best in the NFL. 82, Broncos, you got 2,583 yards after completion. 82 completions have at least gone 10 yards. That's both best in the NFL for the season. And just so you guys know, the Simpsons did not do it. I know how everybody's saying, like, oh, the Simpsons predicted the Super Bowl back in 2005. No. There's been two regular season matchups the past 2 years, or since that 2005 episode. And we've split. It's 1-1 in case any of you want to, know the tally. So, they did not do it. Seahawks, we've held our last 8 opponents under 20 points. 41%, our defense, completion percentage, when we get pressure, completion percentage is only 41%, as opposed to when we don't get pressure, completion percentage is 65%. We get pressure on 32% dropbacks that the quarterbacks do. That's best in the NFL. Manning only gets pressured on 14% of his dropbacks, also best in the NFL. Our defense, again, stingy as hell. We only give up 5.8 yards per attempt on average, and we hold the quarterback to a 29 total QBR. Both best in the NFL. Denver's a little dink and dunk, playing. It's not going to be working against us. We only allow 4.6 yards per attempt within 10 yards, of the line of scrimmage. It's best in the NFL. And we've had more interceptions within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage than teams have had against us for touchdowns within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. It's like, when it's first and goal, second and goal, that kind of stuff, 10 yards. We usually pick it off and that kind of stuff. That's why we're such a great defense. Ball hawking. Manning, he tends to throw to the outside of the right numbers, Sherman's direction, 59.4% of the time. That really favors Sherman. In case you didn't realize, last week he did not throw Talib's way when Talib was in the game. You know, when Talib got injured 2 weeks ago, you know, then he started throwing to Demaryius Thomas and that stuff. But he didn't throw Talib's way while he was in the game. You know. Sherman, he holds quarterbacks to a 47.3% passer, or 47.3 passer rating. That's the lowest rating of any cornerback, yeah, against a quarterback. And you know, this is one of the reasons why the defense is going to win the game. We have more experience. You know, we are 9-3 against the teams with less points per game given up than Denver. You know, 11-3 including the playoffs. So like, Denver's like 22nd in points per game given up. So every team above that we have faced, we are 9-3 against them. 11-3 because the two teams that we played in the playoffs had a better defense than Denver. The Broncos, though, are only 7-3 with against teams with less points per game given up. Sorry, 9-3 including the playoffs. So we got like a 2-game advantage there. We are the best defense that Denver has faced all year long. The next best defense they faced was Kansas City, who was ranked number 5, and they played them twice, beat them twice. But other than that, they did not face a defense that was top 10. Yeah. Well, top 5, I mean. Yeah. They were 3-2 against top 10 defenses. You know, the best defense we have faced was Carolina back in week 1. You know, and they're number 2 defense in the league. We're 5-1 against the top 5 defenses, 6-3 against the top 10 defenses, 9-0 versus everybody below, you know, that isn't in the top 10. And Denver is not in the top 10. I'm liking that odd. You know, Eli the Ape, you know, I don't know if some of you heard, last 6 Super Bowl picks he's picked has been correct. And he picked the Hawks this year. Now, that is one monkey we want on our backs. You know, this Super Bowl is the second most matchups of teams from the regular season who are Super Bowl opponents in history. Arizona and Pittsburgh, you know, a few years back, they were the best. You know, or they had the most matchups between them. The most matchups of teams between each other in the Super Bowl. You know, oddly enough, this is our first postseason matchup with Denver, even though we both played in the same division up until 2002. You know, this game's pretty much best scrambler against the best pocket passer. You know, obviously Wilson versus Manning. You know, when the Hawks trail by more than 10 points in the game, we are 3-0. Denver is 4-2 when they trail by 10 points at any point in the game. What is it? Oh yeah, here we go. In games that come down to one possession, Denver is 3-3 this year, 4-3 including the postseason. Seattle, on the other hand, we're 5-3 in the regular season, 7-3 including the postseason. So again, got more experience in tighter games. You know, it's one of the downfalls of a team with, you know, such a legit elite offense and scores at will like Denver. You know, you get against a team that is legitly good. You know, it comes down near the end. You know, the team with the better experience in those situations usually is going to pull it out. And hopefully that's the case on Sunday. Yeah. The margin of victory for each team, Seattle is 11.7 positive, obviously. Denver's 13. So, you know, all the talk about, you know, Denver scores more, you know, it's pretty much the same margin of victory, almost. You know. With fourth quarter comebacks, or you know, fourth quarter overtime comebacks, Manning has 2. Technically, I would say he has 1, because the one game he did come back, the first play of the 4th quarter, he ended up taking the lead. So you can kind of argue there, but you got to give him credit. It happened in the 4th quarter and whatnot. Wilson, on the other hand, he has 4 4th quarter comebacks, 5 if you count postseason game with San Francisco. So again, more experience. In overtime games, Wilson's 2-0 this year, 3-0 in his career. He's never lost overtime. Manning is 0 for 1 this year. Back to that New England game, obviously. Oddly enough, Wilson's never lost by more than 7 points. I think all the different pundits realize that, because I've never heard a prediction of us losing by more than 7 points from the teams that picked Denver. Oddly enough, Denver had 17 possessions in the season opener against Baltimore when Peyton threw those 7 touchdowns. In the postseason, he's had 17 total possessions, 5 touchdowns, and 5 field goals. So, Baltimore, they had all those defensive guys leave. Like half their defense, his starters left or retired or were no longer with the team. And then better defenses in the postseason, obviously. And for all the points per game that the Broncos scored during the regular season, they only have 2 points per game better than the Hawks do in the regular season. In the postseason, I mean. Obviously, we scored 23 points both games, so, scoring 23 a game. Denver scoring 25, What happened, Denver? Where's all that offensive juggernaut that you had? Anyway, on to the basic stats. Went kind of into detail here, but if I really went every possible statistic, be here all day. So these are just the most common ones that I've decided to do. Passing yards, obviously the Broncos, they've got the edge there. They've had more attempts, more completions, better completion percentage. That's what happens when your offense is just solely based on passing. But their run game, complements them. Okay. But if Peyton can't score at willing, it's going to be a long day for Denver. And rushing yards, obviously, better team. We got the edge there. Our defense, opponent passing, 172 to 254. We're first. Denver's 27. Opponent rushing, oddly enough, exactly the same. We're both at 101.6, 7th in the league with that. Total defense, obviously, Seahawks. We're number 1 defense against the number 1 offense. And then total offense, obviously Denver. Denver's got that. Sacks, our defense has gotten 44 over the season. Denver has 41. We've gotten the edge there. And then, sacks given up. Denver's obviously got the edge there. Peyton Manning's only gotten hit 20 times. Wilson, though, has gotten hit 44 times. It'd be a lot lower if, the majority of our offensive line hadn't been injured during the year. Interceptions, obviously, 28 for us, only 17 for them. Then interceptions thrown, Wilson has less than Manning, only by 1 though. So but second in the league with that. Fumbles, we got the edge there. We're 5th, they're 7th. In both, recovering and forcing. Passes defensed. Did not realize this till I saw it. Denver actually has the edge there. So you got to give them credit. They don't allow many passes to be completed there. Defensive touchdowns, we got the edge there. Little tidbit. Sherman has more return yards interception-wise than Denver's entire defense has all year long. Just by himself, more interception return yards. Who would thought? Now, obviously, we got the edge there, 385 to 141. Field goals, Denver's got the better percentage. Prater only missed one all year long. Hauschka, on the other hand, says he missed two, but one was a block and the other was, should have been made, but he had to re-kick it. So, but he went 33 and 35 when actually it should have been 35 of 35. He should have been perfect, but block and a clunk off the upright. The long, obviously, Prater had the better long distance. He set the record for the longest field goal and during the season. And punt return yards, were better there. Obviously, because only 5 returns or so all year long. And a little thing you might not know is inside the 20 punting, he's done 28 out of 74. That's like 38% right there. And Denver's only got 24 out of like 65, I think it was, or like 37%. 24 out of like 75, something like that. Anyway. We got the edge and all that. So, first downs, throughout the year, Denver obviously, better offense, they got the edge there. But defensively, we've only given up 282 first downs. Denver's given up 339. So, they've given up almost like how much we've gotten on average, if you average it out per game. Rushing first downs, we got the edge there, obviously. And then, defensively, we don't give up many as well, so got the edge there as well. Passing first downs, Denver, offensively, they got the edge there. Defensively, though, we have the edge. Third down percentage, they're better offense, and defensively, we got the edge. Fourth down percentage, Denver actually has the edge in both that, offensive and defensively. Penalty-wise, we're the most penalized team, so obviously Denver's going to have that, and although pretty close with the defensive penalties each team. For all those of you that say, "Oh, we play too hard, we play too rough," there should be more flags. Denver's only gotten one less flag on defense than us all year long. And I'm sorry, but this is football. If you don't like, rough and tumble, jamming, physicality, you should just go watch flag football if you're going to be like that. Because that'd be more your sport. The penalty first downs, Denver's got the edge in both offensively and defensively. Points per game, they score more, but we give up less. We actually score around the amount that they give up per game. So, we score 26, they give up about 25 a game. And then the turnover differential, Denver, come on, you don't have a single, you're not positive or negative, you're even in the turnover differential. We're 20. So, I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few turnovers in this game by Denver. And that's going to be like, it's going to be the turning points, the reason why, the Seahawks most likely will win. So, if you tally up, I tallied up all the, the stats, who has the edge, whoever had the edge in each category had, got tallied. Offensively, Denver, 12-3. Defensively, we got 14-4. So 1-1 there. And special teams, we got it better. So 5-2, just based off, defense, offense, special teams, we got the edge there. Injuries, Baldwin, he's got a hip. Everybody on our team's good to go. The only people out, John Johnson, Sidney Rice, but Johnson's like a backup. Rice, he's out. Obviously had that ACL tear all those weeks ago. For the Broncos, no Sean Moreno. Yeah, he's gonna probably be playing. Injured his ribs like 2 weeks ago, but he should be good to go. Chris Harris, Derek Wolfe, Von Miller, Kevin Vickerson, Raheem Moore, Ryan Clady. Everybody there's out. Almost half your defensive guys are, starter-wise, are out for the game. So, anyways, prediction time. Wilson, I say he's going to be like 19 or 23 passing, 250 yards. Probably, he'll have to scramble a bit, so he'll probably get like 65 yards rushing. Say he gets at least, overall, altogether, 3 touchdowns. Probably 1 rushing touchdown in that. Lynch, we're going to be giving him the rock. Probably 25 carries, 110 rush yards, 45 yards receiving. I can see Wilson with all that pressure coming, just, lobbing it to him out of the backfield. Gonna get a rushing touchdown for sure, at least 1. Baldwin, he's been our MVP. If you've watched it, he's like Wilson's go-to guy, and every time Wilson's had to scramble or like throw while being pressured, Baldwin's been there time and time again to catch it. So he's probably gonna have at least 1 long reception and 1 touchdown. Harvin, I say he's gonna get 100 yards total from scrimmage. Probably like 25 yards rushing, 1 receiving touchdown. And I'm going to say he's going to have more than 100 yards returning and 1 touchdown. I know 2 weeks ago I said the first kickoff he returns is going to be a touchdown. Sticking with it again. First kickoff return he will have a touchdown. Tate, on the other hand, say probably get like 50 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, at least probably 1 big punt return, to get the momentum back on our side if, we are ever losing it. So defensively, probably going to hold them to under 350 total yards, no more than 2 total touchdowns, probably 2-3 interceptions. I think Sherman's going to get at least 1 of those. A fumble recovery, Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, those are like the fumble duo. Every time, Michael Bennett or Cliff Averill forces a fumble, the other one's right there to pick it up. Probably get about, get pressure on Manning, probably 3 sacks for the first time in the postseason. He hasn't been sacked at all. That's going to change on Sunday. And I'm going to say they hold Peyton to under a 90 rating, QBR rating, passer rating, whatever it is. So, Banning, on the other hand, probably going to go 22-37 passing, no more than 300 passing yards, maybe a touchdown. No more than 1 touchdown at all. So, Moreno, our defense is stingy as hell over the last 8 weeks. Been really shutting down the run game. Probably going to get around 30 rushing yards, maybe a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, what a receiver. Got to give it to him. He's a great receiver. Tall, athletic, able to make crazy catches. I'd say he's probably going to get like 4 catches for 70 yards. Julius Thomas, the tight end, all the elite tight ends that we've faced, Jimmy Graham, Tony Gonzalez, Vernon Davis, over the regular season, we've shut them down. And I have a feeling we're going to somewhat shut him down. But still probably get a few catches, yards. I'd say probably 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Just because, Davis and Jimmy Graham, they both got touchdowns, so probably he's best bet he's going to get at least one touchdown. So, anyways, my final prediction, Seahawks 38, Broncos 20. So there we go, final video of the season. I will see you all next year. Have a great off season. It's going to be killer, especially since the Seahawks are doing so good. It's going to be so painful for us fans here. Man, it's going to be hell. Anyways, I will see you guys start next season. Peace out.